Crowdsourcing Love is brought to you by First Rounds on Me. First Rounds on Me is a dating app that I love that encourages you to actually go out on dates so you can create a real, genuine connection in person rather than trying to through your phone screen. First Rounds on Me is great because it cuts out all the small talk and helps plan your first date. You can only have one date per day, and you can only chat with your date 12 hours before your date starts. No more pen pals. Go out and get to know someone in person. Lately, I've been meeting a ton of people new to New York City, and they keep asking me which dating app they should download. And I tell everybody to download First Rounds on Me because it's just so efficient. Everyone's busy in New York City. It's about to be summer, and no one has time to just sit on their phones and message back and forth a million times. So download First Rounds on Me by going to the App Store or by clicking the link in the description below. Hello, welcome to Crowdsourcing Love. I'm your host, Marin from Life of Marin NYC. I'm the girl who went on 28 dates in February. And today I am sitting down with Jordyn Woodruff of Barstool Sports Mean Girl podcast. Jordyn and I are both from Minnesota, and we moved to New York City around similar times. She is a bit younger than me, but I was curious about her experiences dating in New York City while working for a male-dominated media network that isn't shy of controversy and is definitely notorious for having bro culture. Today, Jordyn and I discuss how hookup culture never leads to satisfying sex, how to get the confidence to ask for what you need in love, and the truth behind Jordyn's infamous 666 rule. So without further ado, please enjoy today's episode. If you have a few extra minutes, please rate, review, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. So welcome to Crowdsourcing Love. I'm Marin from Life of Marin NYC, and I have Jordyn Woodruff. Did I say your last name correctly?
You did, yes.
And she is from Barstool Sports podcast, Mean Girls. And she's also, it's called the Mean Girls podcast.
Well, technically it's just called Mean Girl, but everyone, we refer to it as like Mean Girl Pod.
So Mean Girl Pod. Okay, so it's not Mean Girls like the movie, it's Mean Girl.
Correct. We had to remove the S for
But there's two of you. There's you and your co-host Alex.
Correct, yeah.
And you've been doing it for how long?
It was a year in February.
Okay.
So a little over a year, yeah.
Can you give us an update where you're at with your dating life?
Yes. So I'm currently single.
Okay.
I was talking to a guy that I actually just ended things with. It wasn't like a serious type of guy. It was just like someone I was consistently talking to. I ended that like 2 days ago. So
oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm very, very single. I actually am back on the apps a little bit more aggressively. I go through like waves where I'm either, like we talked about before, we're like 0 or 100. I'm either all in or all out.
Yep.
And I'm like, wait, let's go back kind of all in on the app. So I'm back trying to find some dates.
Okay, so you ended things with this guy 2 days ago. What was wrong? Like, what was the problem?
Yeah, so he didn't live in New York. It was long distance.
Oh, no. How'd you meet him?
I met him through a mutual friend.
Okay.
And we just kind of clicked. We hit it off. I went to visit him. It was great. And then after that, I could kind of tell something was a little off, like energy-wise.
Yep.
And I was going back to that state 2 weeks later for work. It just like worked out conveniently like that. And I saw him over the weekend, and he just wasn't giving me what I needed. And I have gone to a lot of therapy.
Okay, I love that.
Where I'm like, I understand like what I deserve. I understand my worth. And he just wasn't checking any of the boxes that I deserved.
Yep.
And I finally had that conversation with him, and he was like, honestly, like, I can't give you what you need. And I was like, okay, either you go all in and you give me what I need, or like you drop me off at the airport and we have to like just never speak again.
And that's it.
And he was like, I respect you, so I'm gonna go, and I can't give you what I want or what you want, so we're gonna have to go with the second option. And he dropped me off, and we haven't spoken in the last 2 days.
I just met you, but I'm so proud of you for just, you know, understanding what your standards and boundaries were, laying them out there for him, communicating them. Like, that takes confidence. And then just being like, here's kind of the choices. And then you chose yourself in the end.
Yeah.
So how has it been? Are you dealing with the separation from him okay? Or are you still kind of sad?
Yeah, like it. And I don't mean this in a rude way, like if he ever were to listen. I'm not upset or sad about it, because I have like this idea so strongly in my head now that the person that I meet will be my perfect person and check
Yep.
all the boxes. And I have to remind myself, like, why would I ever want to be with someone who doesn't? Because that's the rest of my life, hopefully.
Yeah.
And also, like, why would I want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me? Like,
And why would you want to be with somebody who makes it feel hard to love you or hard to be with you and choose you?
yeah, like I started to feel insecure and I was getting obsessive and I was like, it's all because he can't give me what I need. And I don't want to live like every day feeling this way.
Yep.
When someone else will come around where I will feel very, very secure.
Yep. So tell me more about your New York City dating. Are you on Hinge, Bumble? Like what dating apps are you on?
I'm only on Hinge. I was in Bumble back in Minnesota, but I didn't know if it was big or not in New York.
Yep.
And also I don't go on it as frequently as I should. So I was like, what if I message someone and I don't go back on in 24 hours? Like, I know a lot of people in New York don't. So I was just stressed about it. So I was like, I'm just going to stick with Hinge. So all my dates in New York have been Hinge, or I've gotten a few dates where I don't think I've like met them out, but I think maybe mutual people have set me up.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never had like a cool, like, we met at a bar and then we went on a date, unless I'm forgetting someone. I would say 80, maybe 90% of my dates have been through dating apps though.
Okay. And what are you looking for on the dating apps? Because I watched your clips before I, came today for the podcast, and I saw that you have a 666 rule. Can you describe what the 666 rule is? And is that like the main criteria surrounding what you're looking for in a partner?
Yeah, so that clip is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So the 666 is not like, it's not anything that I am serious about, but like I made a joke about it like one of the first episodes of the podcast, because me and my girlfriend back home, we just like, when you say like stupid things to your friends, and we're like, that's our criteria, but it's pretty much like they have to be over 6 feet. They have to have a 6-inch dick and then make 6 figures.
Okay.
But when it comes to that criteria, I would say none of that has to be set.
So it's more of a joke.
It was fully a joke,
Okay.
but it will haunt me. Like, people will literally be like, well, I know that's the criteria, so I won't speak to you. And I'm like, it was just a joke.
Okay. I think that's hilarious. I thought it was funny because I knew you were joking. But for me, I was thinking about it. I'm like, if I had to get rid of one of the 6s, so which one would be like the least important to me? Or like, could you, like, for me, I could rank them in my head, like which one's the most important, which one's the least important. Can you rank them?
Oh yeah. So
Okay.
height is my biggest thing, because I'm tall. I'm 5'8".
You're 5'8", which isn't that tall though. In New York, there's like so many like 6-foot models running around.
Yeah, but I feel like guys in New York are a little bit shorter.
Yeah, like the Italians.
Yes. So
Or the Jewish ones as well.
I would love somebody taller than me, because I just want someone who makes me feel small. Like,
Okay.
I just want,
you want
like,
to feel like small and petite and feminine.
yeah. And I like, some days I want to wear heels and I don't want to like be like rocketing my boyfriend. So height would probably be my most important. It's not like a major deal breaker, but I would love like a 6'2" man.
Okay.
And then money, like, they don't have to be making it right now, but it'd be nice. I just want someone who's like motivated.
Yep.
And like
Ambitious.
willing and ambitious, exactly. And then the last one I don't care about too much.
Okay, see, that's so funny though, because I was like, I feel like for me, the 6 figures is the most important, because I want somebody who's financially secure and ambitious, and that's controversial, but I just know what my needs are, and that's a need.
And we live in the most expensive city in the world.
Yeah, and if I have kids one day, I want someone who's going to be able to handle the finances if I need to take a few years off from work. And like, again, that's not everyone, but that's just how I feel. And then I was thinking the 6-inch dick would be next, because that would like impact us on a daily basis. Like, if we were having sex and if it was like too small, then I might not, be satisfied in our sex life.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
And then I put the height thing third, but I'm somebody where I'm like, I love a short king. And like, I look at like the Jonas Brothers and like Zendaya and her boyfriend, I forget, Tom Holland, I think. Where there's like these like beautiful, strong women who are taller than their significant others, and they just like rock it. Have you ever thought about that?
I have, and I've dated. Wait, how tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
Okay.
Yeah.
We're same boat.
Yeah.
I have dated shorter guys, and it's not like I'm completely against it. Like, if I meet someone who is like rocking my world, like the nicest, sweetest man, treating me the way I deserve to be treated, just like checking all my boxes, and he's 5'10".
Yep.
That's fine.
You're fine with it.
Yeah, I don't think I could do someone.
What if he's your height or shorter, like Joe Jonas and Priyanka Chopra?
I think I could do my height. my height, but I don't think I could do shorter.
And that's fine. Like, again, it's like your prerogative.
Yeah.
And you should be selective when it comes to the love of your life and your life partner. Like, that should be an area where you're the most selective.
Mm-hmm.
And people try to tell women to settle all the time, like lower your standards, but you don't hear people saying that to men.
If one more person like tells me that like my standards are too high, I'm about to like throw my phone at their face.
Do it. Throw your phone at their face, because you're a gorgeous girl. You have a lot going for you. Why would you settle? Like, you should not settle. There's no reason to.
Well, and where we're from in Minnesota, it's more common because like the standard of living is like be engaged and have kids by our age.
Yeah, I'm past it. I'd be an old maid in Minnesota.
No,
yeah,
like almost me too.
Yep.
But in New York, thankfully, it's so much more normal to be our age. Like, I mean, you could be like 36 and single and no one would blink an eye.
Yep.
And it's so nice because like you're not feeling like you need to settle.
Okay.
But that also comes with people never wanting to settle down either.
Yeah. Okay, it's interesting to me, though, that you say that you struggle with finding men who want to settle down with you or commit to you in New York, because you are such a catch. And when I posted you on my Instagram yesterday, when I was like, what are your questions for Jordyn? I had like a million men DM me like, will she go on a date with me? Will she marry me? Like all these guys were hollering at you.
Where are they?
I mean, I'll send you all of their profiles. I did not have time to look through them to like see if they were cute, because, you know, I know you have high standards. But I was like, oh, this girl's a hot commodity. Do you feel like you're just going for the wrong types of guys, or can you like really get granular in like what you're looking for or the types of guys you're swiping on a Hinge or a Bumble?
Yeah, so I have really grown a lot like this past year.
I love that.
When I first started dating, it was very superficial. Like I was like the hottest guys with the best jobs, who went to the best schools, who live in the best neighborhoods.
Yep.
And I was getting the same outcome every single time.
That's very New York, by the way, the neighborhoods.
Yep. Yep. I was like, we were talking about like, you live in Tribeca.
West Village.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was getting the same outcomes with like these guys who were just kind of, we would go on a date. They're kind of like, they wouldn't like treat me poorly, but it would be very them just not trying.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't hear from them afterwards, or they would text me in like a week and be like, do you want to get drinks again? I'm like, you're not putting any effort in at all. And then from there, I went through like kind of like an emotionally unavailable phase where I was like subconsciously picking guys I knew who wouldn't want to commit.
Yeah.
Like guys who like recently got out of a relationship, or guys who like made it very clear they didn't want one. And I was like, I can fix them.
You're a fixer.
I am a fixer.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm not. I'm the opposite. I'm like, oh, you're not together. Like, get away.
Well, now I'm like, I'm not a mom. And I'm not going to be your mother.
I love that.
So then I was going through a healthier phase where I thought I was picking better people, but I actually had therapy this morning, and I was telling my therapist, I'm like, I keep getting these guys who are so great in the beginning. Like they're checking my boxes.
Yep.
And then as soon as they feel like they've won me over, they just fully give up. And it's been happening multiple times. And she was like, I think it could either have to do with your job, still the type of guys you're picking. But she's like, I don't think it's a you problem. Like you're like,
you're not the problem. It's the guys.
Yeah, because I know exactly what I want in a person,
which is
like I would say like the biggest, like to give you like maybe like top 3 or 5.
Yeah, 3 to 5 is great.
Like I just want somebody who like is so genuine and like cares about me. Like they ask me how my day is, but like they genuinely care.
Yeah,
they go to their way to make me feel special. They make me feel beautiful. They're funny. Like I just want a guy who makes me laugh. Like not crazy things.
No, it doesn't seem like you're asking for that much. I recently said that to one of my friends where I was like, I'm not even asking for that much, and she was like, that's the problem. You should be asking for more.
Oh, I love
and so
that.
I think like that's something that maybe you should be doing. Don't keep saying like, I'm not asking for that much. Be like, no, I'm asking for X, Y, and Z. Like rise up or go away.
Wait, I love that. Because the guy I was just talking to, I said that to him. Like, I'm not asking you to like swim across the ocean for me. I'm literally just asking you to call me regularly and ask me about my day.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't even have led with that. I should have been like,
no, you shouldn't.
This is what I want, and you're not giving it to me.
But that's our Minnesota nice, where we're told from like our background and our culture is like, be humble, be nice, be modest, be like easy to be around. Like that's a message that's like probably, I shouldn't speak for you, but it is ingrained in me.
Oh, fully.
And then I feel like I lead with that energy, But these East Coast men, they don't respect that energy.
Not at all. They can like sense it, and they even subconsciously will take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're a bunch of sharks.
No, they literally are. But like, so I thought, like, so the guy that I was talking to was from the South, and I thought Southern men would treat you a little better, but they're the same way. It's like, I feel like it doesn't matter where they're from necessarily. They're all just...
Okay, so now that you have like your queen hat on and you're like no longer going to be saying like I'm not asking for that much, what's like another thing that's like a little bit bitchier that you're looking for? Beyond like, just like asking me how my day was, but like what else?
I want... So, like, this is even bad to say. I always like hesitate saying this, but it's the Minnesota me. Like, I just want someone to pay for me.
I think that's great. Like, that's fine.
Pretty consistently until we are comfortable with one another.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, just on dates or things we do, like, I never want to have to question it. And then it's not going to be a forever thing. Like, once we are very comfortable with each other, I'm more than happy to, like, pay my way.
Yep.
But, like, at least for the first few dates, like, put in the effort and also, like, plan a date that's going to blow my mind.
Totally. Do guys go Dutch with you here, or what's been happening?
I would say a lot of guys will pay on the first date. There have been a few instances where, like, I put my card down, they're like, and they kind of hesitate, or I have, like, split it.
Yeah.
But I would say after, like, the second date, usually things get, I, like, will offer, and they're like, oh, okay, sounds good.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And maybe I shouldn't even be offering.
I've stopped offering.
I stopped offering on the first date now.
That's good.
I'm like, I'm done. People in New York, I just think, don't want to settle down for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think in the back of their heads, and say no, they don't want to settle down. They're like, well, I don't have to like try that hard, because if it doesn't work out, I'm not like looking for her to be my wife.
Yeah. And I think, do you date mostly younger guys, or like what age range are you dating?
So I have like a strict policy of my age or older, but after this guy I just got done talking with, I have now a strict policy of like 30 or older. Oh, really? Yeah.
And you're 27.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so you work at Barstool. Excuse me. Do any of your coworkers ever set you up on dates?
I've never been set up. Actually, no, it's a lie.
Oh, really?
I did get set up from one of my coworkers.
And how'd that go?
It actually went incredible. He was one of the nicest. He was 34, I believe, so he's an older guy.
Yep.
He was one of the nicest people I dated, so kind and chivalrous, and he was one of those guys that like checked like the basic boxes. The only thing is he's actually my height too.
Okay.
The only thing is he was older, so he wanted like a family and a wife, and didn't see himself in New York a lot longer. Like, he was ready for that next step. And at this point, I think I had lived in New York just under a year, and I was 26 at the time, where I was like, I'm not there yet at all.
So you felt like he was gonna move the relationship along like too quickly for like what you were looking for.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I don't know if I want kids, and I knew he really wanted kids, and I was like, a lot of my friends were like, I can't believe you guys had that conversation. But I was like, you kind of have to when you're dating somebody who is older and wanting that sooner in life.
Yep.
And he was very like, no, I do want kids, and I do want to move out of New York in the next like 2 years. And I was like, I don't know if I want kids, and I'm not leaving New York in the next 2 years. So for like just both of us, we wanted very different things, and I didn't think it was fair to continue it when we didn't see eye to eye in like our future.
Did you have that conversation on like the first date, or when did the conversation happen?
So he brought up kids like very casually. I think it was on the second date, but like not in like a weird way. He was just like, yeah, I can't wait for like to join. I think he was like talking about like a golf course, like to join this golf course once I move out of the city and have like kids and stuff. And I think I might have been like, oh yeah, that sounds really cool. I'm not really sure if I want kids. Like it was a very mature conversation, and we didn't put pressure and make it awkward. It was just eye-opening, where I was like, okay, this is good to know, because at that point I was like, I don't think I want kids.
And have you changed your mind since?
I actually have. In the past like 6 months, I've been more open to the idea of having kids. Not anytime soon.
Okay.
But it's not something that like is a deal breaker anymore for me. Before, if I dated guys and they were like, I want a big family, I'd be like, I'm not your girl. Now if I date a guy who's like, I want kids, I'm like, I could get on board with that.
Yeah. My sister, she has 1 kid now. She didn't know she wanted kids until she met her husband, and she's like, oh, I love you so much. I could see myself building a family with you.
Yeah.
And so maybe for you, it's just a matter of like finding the right person, and then you'll be open-minded to it. But it sounds like you're kind of already opening your mind to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too, like I said, a lot of people thought it was like crazy to have that conversation, but I think you need to have.
I think you need to. I ask guys on the first date, like, what are you looking for?
Good.
And I try to do it in like a fun, light, playful way. But I'm like, what are you looking for? And I ask them if they want kids, because I've dated guys where I like fully fell in love with them and then asked them. And then it's too late. Not? I do want kids. I don't want like a huge family. I personally don't think I have it in me. I don't have the energy levels for that. But I at least want one or two.
Yeah. And like you need to be asking those questions even on the first date, because your time is very valuable. You're a busy girl. A lot of the people who are dating are busy. And it's like, why would you want to go on a second date with somebody if you knew you had nothing, like your futures didn't align at all? Yeah,
no, totally. And that's, I've weeded people out that way by just like asking them about, you know, their aspirations as well as like their friends and family dynamics. Because another deal breaker for me is someone who doesn't have a community. So like they need to have friends and people that they're engaged with for a long time, like a track record of keeping friends.
Yeah.
As well as, you know, close with their family, which some people hate that take. It's controversial. I used to date guys who were kind of like wounded birds. And like even if you don't come from a good family background, okay, do you have a chosen family now? Do you have a mentor that you're, you know, trying to aspirationally become like? Or are you just surrounding yourself with losers?
Yeah. No, it's amazing. Like some of the deal breakers that have come along the way, like one of mine now is you don't have to go to therapy, but if I'm talking to a guy and he's like, ew, therapy, that's a waste of time, I'm like, I can't date you because that means you don't want to better yourself emotionally or mentally.
Yeah.
And like that, I value that so much. And same with the family. Like if I was dating someone who was like, I don't like my family at all. And if they didn't have like a legitimate reason, I'd be like, okay, we probably wouldn't work together, because I value family and I think it's so fun dating someone with like a big family they're close with, because like I want their family to be my family.
Yeah, and that eventually does happen.
Yeah,
like you do become family with whoever you marry and their extended family. Okay, so what's it like dating though, working for a male dominated network? Like I just look at some of like the comments underneath your pictures versus like my pictures. I have like I think 60% of my following is women, the rest are men. But you're coming from kind of that bro culture. Is it like what? Just tell me more about that.
Yeah, so I would say my demographic is split male to female, but I might have more male followers than female followers, just given like I work at Barstool. And it definitely comes with its pros and cons. Like I get some really nasty men in my DMs.
I was just going to ask about your DMs, just like gross asking about sexual things or.
Yeah, like I know a lot of people use the DMs to meet people. And like I have gone on a date through a DM, but I don't look at my DMs as closely as some people might, because it's just to the point where I'm like, I don't need to feed my mind with like the nastiness a lot of guys are sending me. So I usually will just like delete the DMs half the time, which sucks because I know that's like how people meet. Like Chase Stokes and Kelsey Ballerini just started dating that way. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's just slid in. It definitely comes with its cons. Even like in person, I'll have like guys come up to me and they're just like, they're not like well, they are disrespectful, because they'll just come up to me like, oh, are you that girl at Barstool? And I'm like, if you don't know my name, or like at least come up and ask my name. Like one time a guy came up to me and was like, so me and my friends were just talking about you and this other girl, and we're having competition, like who thinks who's hotter. They all think the other girl's hotter, but don't worry, I'm on your side. And I'm like,
that's so rude.
I'm like,
disrespectful.
I was like, I now never want to speak to any of you guys again. And I was like, please go away. And so now, like, if a guy comes up to me and is just like, oh, you're that girl Barstool, blah, 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 and like is disrespectful, I just like kindly am like, please leave.
Because does Barstool have a lot of women shows? So like I know I'm familiar with yours, and I feel like yours has kind of like superseded Barstool, where like you guys will show up on my TikTok and my Instagram algorithm. So like that's how I discovered you, because I'm not a big sporty girl. Like I'm not a stoolie or whatever you call them. With so much peace and love, I'm not trying to disrespect that niche, but I'm trying to remember my question.
There's like a decent amount of female shows, like Chicks in the Office.
Okay,
that's a massive pop culture one.
Yep.
Brianna Chicken Fry and Grace O'Malley have Plan Brie. Alex and I have
Mean Girl.
I think those are the like 3 like female only podcasts at Barstool. There's other female creators, but they don't have podcasts specifically with another female creator.
Okay. And when I first saw you guys and discovered you guys, my first like gut reaction was like, oh my God, this is Call Her Daddy 2.0. Have you guys gotten that a lot?
We get that all the time, but I think people just assume because we work at Barstool and I'm a brunette and Alex is a blonde. And
that's how basic it was. And you're both females.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if you listen to the 2 shows, I personally, the only thing that's similar is we talk about dating and relationships. But Alex is married. I'm single. So she brings like a really good married perspective from the South. I'm from the Midwest and I bring a good single perspective. And we're just like naive when we talk about it. And it's more of like every episode we're teaching each other things about dating. We're never like, this is how you suck a dick. We're like, so
it's more girl talk.
Yeah.
You're not the teachers, where I feel like Call Her Daddy was more like they would get on, it was scripted. They would be like, all right, guys, we're going to teach you X, Y, and Z today. Whereas you guys are like asking the questions and conversating a little bit more.
Yeah. And Alex will like ask me about like what it's like being single. And I'm like, well, tell me what it's like being married. And it's more of, just like to like, our like slogan is like your besties in your ear.
Okay.
And we just like have very like funny girl chit chat.
No, I love it. It's so cute. And I feel like it's so relatable because both of you guys are just very down to earth and vulnerable. But you still offer like a little bit of that New York glamour as well.
Yeah. I know being vulnerable is like, I feel like the key to success.
Yeah, it truly is. Because no one wants to hear like your PR, just like statement, someone trying to act cool, someone who's fronting. It just like doesn't resonate with people.
Yeah. Like when you were saying like this might be controversial, I'm like, that's the stuff we love to hear.
So are you currently dating for marriage?
Yes. Like I've said, it's definitely 0 to 100 type of person. And like, I'm not dating to be married next year or in 2 years, but I'm done with the whole casual thing. Like that's why with the guy from a different state, I was like, you're either all in or all out, because I don't see a point. I'm going to be 28 in a month, which I know is still so young, but I don't want casual. I'm actually like very type A, where casual stresses me out.
Yeah, like you're a planner.
Yeah. And like I don't want like to know that I could go 2 weeks without talking to you, or like you might be seeing a bunch of other girls. Like I'm okay with it being casual in the beginning, but like I want to know the person I'm dating is also dating to have a more serious relationship.
Okay, no, I totally respect that. And then do you have a roster? Like you said that you're either dating 5 people or 0 people. So in general, when you are dating like that roster of men, how many people are you juggling at a time typically?
So I always joke with Alex, and I'm like, I think so many people assume I have this massive roster. I don't. It's so sad. I have such a hard time dating multiple people. I tried doing it a few months ago. I dated, I think, like 3 people at once.
Yep.
One, very time consuming, but it was very healthy. Like it helps you not put all your eggs in one basket. So if one guy lets you down, you're not gonna obsess over it. You'll be like, it's fine. Like XYZ over here will take me on a date instead. And I need to be better about it.
I agree. I do too.
But like right now my roster is fully 0, but I need to do a better job of like dating multiple people at once, because I think it just keeps everything so healthy and also keeps your mind more open, and it allows you to like get rid of one if they don't fulfill something that you need.
Yeah, it gives you context. It's like, this other guy's buying me Ubers home and doing X, Y, and Z. Why is this guy slacking? And it just like helps you understand like what's out there.
Yeah. If a guy bought me an Uber home, I'd marry him.
Really?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Is like
that's crazy to me.
I get
like,
the bare minimum.
What the? Okay, is it because you're dating guys who are younger? Because I even dated a guy who's 28 recently, and he would send me home in Ubers.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like my friends joke with me and they're like, you have the worst. They always say like I have the worst taste in men because it's just easier that way. But like my friends are like, you have the worst dating track record out of everyone we know. Like you date the worst people.
What are their backgrounds? Like, are you dating actors? Are you dating musicians? Are you dating finance bros, lawyers, consultants? Like, what are you kind of like, what's your niche?
I would say 99.9% of the people I've dated are finance bros.
Oh, okay.
I've dated a few people in like marketing or like event management,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say like almost everyone is finance.
Okay. Well, we're in New York City. There's so
Yeah.
many finance bros. And I recently was accused of being like vapid and just like looking for, finance bros.
Mm-hmm.
But it was because I'm like, I live in FIDI.
Yeah.
Like my proximity is to all these finance people. It's not because I'm obsessed with them. I would rather find somebody who's not a finance bro.
Yeah.
Because the culture can be so toxic within that space.
Yeah. Because I've never dated anyone with like a blue check mark or anyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you gone on dates with any celebrities?
No, I never. And honestly, I've never encountered. I talked to like the closest I got was I like briefly. I mean, like hung out once with like an athlete, but other than that,
That's exciting.
yeah, it was very. And he's such a sweetheart. But like other than that, I have never gone on a date with like anyone with a following or anything even remotely close to one. I kind of prefer the no face person because I don't. Not that I'm insecure, but I don't want a guy that I'm like, I don't want these girls sliding in your DMs.
Yeah, for me, during my 28 date challenge, I started to have people who were not A-listers, I'll say D-listers, like where they've like been on reality TV or
Wait, can you say someone's name?
I'll show you afterwards. But I had like 3 people who were public facing slide in, and it was so interesting because I was like, are they in it for the wrong reasons? Do you ever wonder that now, being a public figure yourself, where you're like, because for me, I was like, are they just trying to jump on this clout train because I'm going viral? You're much bigger than me with your following. And so I'm surprised, like, has this ever been an issue for you where you're like, oh, they're just trying to kind of be a leech?
I've always have that in the back of my head. Like, are they just trying to get on the pod? Are they just trying to, they think I have like all these connections, so they think I can like get them in at cool places or have them meet cool people. And I think that about every single person I date, and I definitely have a guard up.
Yep.
And it sucks, but yeah, it's something that like I've encountered before, and I'm always thinking of. That's why I love the idea of dating someone who like truly just like doesn't know a lot about social media.
You just want a chill guy who loves you for you and embraces that.
But also, I guess like if they were well known, they would understand my world. But I don't know, just like the idea of dating someone who's well known, I should probably get over it, but like I think I would be a little insecure that because like I just hear so many horror stories and like I know the DMs that I get, and it's like I don't know, I just like don't want all these girls like flocking my guy.
So I agree, but I also think that there's always gonna be women everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
And especially in this social media era or age, that like, I don't know, part of my dream is to marry somebody or be with somebody who's also public facing, because I would love to like come together and build something great together. Yeah. Like a little power couple moment.
My dream is a producer, someone behind the camera.
Okay.
Because they like understand my world so well. They're creative. They can help me grow. Like that is my dream. Like someone, director, producer, editor. I love that.
Oh, maybe I have someone to set you up with.
Oh, maybe.
Cute. Okay. How about when it comes to hooking up? Because we live in the age of hookup culture where people jump into bed very quickly. Do you have any rules surrounding, hooking up while dating?
Yeah, so I used to have no rules. Like I truly didn't care. I was like, if I want to have sex with them on the first date, I will. If I don't, I won't.
Yep.
But I would say in the past 6 months, I went from like that to now I will try. I mean, there's some situations like the guy that lived in a different state, obviously, like the first time I saw him, we did because he lives in a different state. Yeah. But now if I'm dating someone, I will probably wait like 3 to 5 dates to hook up with them.
3 to 5.
Yeah. Okay. And it's not to say like that really changes anything. Like my boyfriend of 5 years, it started as a one night stand. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. So I know it doesn't always matter, but I think in New York, men love the chase, and they always are so used to getting what they want. So if you can just like hold out a little bit, I think it will help. Also, this is like more scientific, but like when you have sex with a guy, like the hormones in your brain start to make you feel like you love them. And I don't want that to ever cloud why I like somebody. So if I wait 3 to 5 dates without being physical with them, I will be able to like see more clearly of why I actually like them. And then also like I love like sexual tension. So if you wait that long, you're like, wait, I just like really want to jump your bones now.
It builds up.
Yeah, which is so fun.
Yeah. So 3 to 5. And when you say 3 to 5, is it like more about like seeing them 3 to 5 times, or is it like I want to get emotionally connected and have talked about X, Y, and Z before I jump into bed with them.
I guess it depends on the person. I would say more so just like 3 to 5 times seeing them, because like in New York, that could be like 2 months.
Right.
But I'm hoping in those 3 to 5 times, like we have more meaningful, deep conversations. Because I think too, like all of that makes the sex so much better. Like you have to have that emotional connection. Like there's just so many things that make it all better.
Yeah.
And I'm a very like deep person. Like I love having deep conversations with people.
Yep.
I did this one guy and he was like, you just love having deep conversations. And I was like, you're not my guy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a deep person, that should be viewed as a good thing. But there are a lot of men who just want women to shut the fuck up.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. So that's like something I value, is having deep conversations. So if
Yeah.
I can do that before we have sex, I think the sex is so much better too.
Yeah, I want to feel connected. So I was trying out this 90-day rule, which 90 days felt like an eternity. I just had maybe both on the podcast, and she wouldn't sleep with guys until she was fully like, you're my boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend. We introduce each other to our friends, our families, and then we fuck. And like, I'm like, holy shit. Like, I'm like, that seems like forever. And she's like, it's really not. And for her, she felt like she was giving too much of herself away. So it wasn't about playing a game. It was more so, or like trapping somebody.
Yeah.
It was more so just being true to herself. And it sounds like you're figuring out what's true to you.
Yeah. And I respect that so much. But like my biggest fear is that happening, and then like we are boyfriend and girlfriend and we have sex and we have no physical chemistry.
And then he's under 6 inches.
Yeah.
And then we're like, fucked.
Because I know, like I'm such a physical person. Like,
no, I am too.
So to me, like I think emotional and physical connection needs to be like 60-40 or even like 50-50.
Yeah.
And there's been so many people that I've had like intense emotional connections with, but the physical connection is not there.
What about like making out? Because for me, when I'm making out with a dude, I'm like, oh my God, I'm either like super into it or I'm not. And I don't even, like, I'm kind of repulsed. I feel like that can translate to the bedroom. Like, I feel like that's a pretty good indicator. Do you not?
Sometimes, but I've made out with guys who are incredible, and then I've had sex with them and I'm like, it's just not it.
But can sex grow over time? Because I feel like the first time is not the litmus test of how good of sex you're going to have.
Yeah.
I feel like half the time guys get nervous and they're not even fully hard or something. Like, I'm sorry to be crass, but
no, it's the truth though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think so, but I don't know. That's like such a big fear of mine is like getting really involved with someone and then like us having no chemistry in the bedroom.
But could you grow your chemistry in the bedroom? I don't know the answer, by
Probably.
the way, but I just feel like the longer I'm with somebody, the better our physical intimacy gets.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you get to know them, you know what they like, and it's something that grows. And as you get more comfortable with them, you're just more yourself.
Yeah. I mean, the older I'm getting, the longer I'm willing to wait, just because like, I mean, one night stands are not enjoyable.
Oh my God, they're so awkward.
Having sex with someone right away, like you said, it's awkward and like I've never had fireworks from like the first time. So
It's not good for me. It's good for the dude.
exactly.
But yeah.
And it's like, why would I want to go through? And like also too, it sucks too if it doesn't work out and you're like, well, I had sex with you. It's so much easier to let somebody go if you haven't been physically,
Yes.
like if you haven't had sex. And like I realized that too, doing like the 3 to 5 date thing. After like the 3rd date, I'd be like, oh, they wouldn't talk to me, or I wouldn't talk to them. And I'm like, wait, we didn't have sex, so this is fine.
Yeah, it's easier just to release them back into the wild.
Yeah, literally.
It's like catch and release. It's like, okay, well.
No, literally though. Is 90 days 3 months?
It is. So I don't know if I recommend it.
Yeah. I haven't dated anyone that long in a very long time.
Yeah, so I did recently so the guy who I just broke up with, I think we were at like 2 months. And I think it would have been so easy just to have sex with him. But like I knew we weren't going to progress. And so I was just kind of like over it.
Yeah.
But I do worry about myself because I'm like, what if, because I'm 31. I'm like, if I keep waiting 90 days, like, am I going to like forget how to have sex? Like, that sounds so crazy, but I'm like a little self-conscious.
No, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
During COVID, I didn't have sex for I think 1.5 years.
Yes.
And I remember having sex for the first time and I was like, is this gonna be like riding a bike or am I gonna forget?
Did I forget?
Yeah.
And am I just gonna be like a dead fish? Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is something I think you need to be doing somewhat, not like somewhat frequently, but kind of frequently to like continue your skills.
I would agree. But also, I talked to my married friends. I just went home to Minnesota, and we were having this long conversation about, like, do guys watch porn? And all of my married friends, it was so funny. They're like, I've never asked my husband that. I'm like, that's like the third question I asked my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like, what are you watching? Like, and so maybe it's just like different personalities. But that made me think that maybe they're not doing acrobatics, and you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
With not trying to diss them. I'm sure they're freaky enough, but I don't think everyone's out there just like acting like porn stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like another thing too, like dating older men is great because like they usually know the way around the bedroom a little bit better.
I agree.
It's experience.
It's more fun. Yeah. And unless they're like so egotistical. So I used to date guys who were so hot, so egotistical that no one ever had the courage to correct them in the bedroom.
Oh.
And they were really bad in bed. And
I've had so many of them.
you better believe I wasn't going to take it upon myself because they intimidated me.
Yeah.
But why was I sleeping with a guy who intimidated me? That's weird.
No, for so long I used to like not enjoy sex because I was like, this isn't good for me. And then I started dating people like long term where we got comfortable in the bedroom. I was like, wait, it's just because like we're not communicating. And once you communicate and you tell them what you need and want, like how to work around your body, it's like, okay, this is what it's supposed to feel like.
But it usually takes a long-term relationship for that. And I think that our generation is missing out on some of that like fun.
Yeah.
Because nobody's getting into relationships and everybody's like trying to play coy and like be like aloof. And it's like, no, like why don't we all just like declare that we actually want something real?
Literally. I could not agree more. And I don't know if it's a New York thing. I like to tell myself it is, and I to give the rest of the world a little more hope.
Yeah.
But it's like, ever since I lived in New York, it's been like dating people who just like, they're too cool to want to settle down.
Everyone's too cool. Yeah. Okay, so I have listener questions. We only have a few minutes left, but I'm not gonna. I know this has flown. I'm not gonna ask you all of the guys who want to marry and date you. Like I've had like
so honored.
No, I'm gonna filter through them, and if they're cute, I'm gonna like send you their profile.
Yes.
I feel like you need to have Alana or somebody like go through your DMs for you, because if people are sending you gross shit, like don't subject your soul to that, but have like a friend or Alana or somebody go through and then like pick out the hot guys, because there's a lot of guys interested in you.
Well, I keep telling people, I'm like, make your profile public, so if you do DM me, I can look at a few pictures, because this big of a picture isn't going to show me anything.
No, and you're not going to follow everyone who DMs you. It's weird. And then it gets weird, because I used to do that when the guys were DMing me during my challenge. So like they would DM me with a private profile, I'd follow them, see their pictures, I wouldn't be interested. And then it's awkward.
And then what do you do, unfollow?
Yeah, no, totally. But then it feels a little uncomfortable. But I have to be a savage because, again, this is for my life partner or my boyfriend. I'm not going to lower my standards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay, so the first question is, are you dating to find the one, to have fun, or for stories to tell on your podcast?
Okay, so I get that all the time from people. They're always like, you just do this for the podcast. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, this is my life.
Totally.
I'm like, it comes with it. It's a perk of dating, but I'm fully dating to find my life partner. Like, I'm not just dating to have fun. It's not fun to date. I
agree. Thank you for saying that. Because people say the same thing to me. They're like, oh, she's just gonna rinse and repeat her 28 dates. I'm like, no. If I wish I would have found. Imagine like that could be a rom-com if I found my husband during that.
Yeah.
And instead, I'm out here like back to Hinge. Like, no, we both want to find somebody.
Yes.
Somebody said, how do I get her attention? So, like, is there a way a guy who either, like, picks you up at a bar, who sees you on a dating app, or who wants to slide into the DMs, like, what works on you to get your attention?
Yeah, so the DMs, I think it needs to be, like, a funny, like, a DM that makes me laugh.
Humor.
But, like, have a public profile so I can stalk you.
That's step one.
On the dating apps, same thing. Like, if you're going to DM me, do not say anything about the podcast. Like, I don't want to know that you know. Instead, have like a very funny comment back, or like kind of like a I don't want an asshole, but I love like kind of like a little sarcastic.
You don't want to push over though.
Yeah. So like that, and then in person, be confident.
Yeah.
Like I think confidence is everything. And if a guy came up to me and was like, "I think you're really cute. Can I buy you a drink?" I would be like, "Yes, you can."
Absolutely. I think confidence goes the furthest. Like, even if a guy is not that cute, if he's confident, he dresses well, and he smells nice, done.
I'm a sucker for a funny guy, too. So if someone can make me laugh, I am all yours.
Oh, 1,000%. Like, I've looked back at some of the guys who I've, like, I've dated or been interested in, and, like, at the time, they made me laugh so hard. and when I would show pictures of them to my friends would be like, yeah.
But you're like, they make me
But
laugh.
then, like, no, you have to meet them in person. They're funny as fuck. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. Speaking about confidence, this person asked about, here we go. Tips to be confident.
For girls or guys?
For you.
So I think as a girl, like my confidence has definitely increased a lot. Or this past year, I swear, has just like been like probably my biggest healing year
Really?
because of therapy and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say like one, it's how you carry yourself.
Yep.
But two, like, I mean, like, you got to have a good posture. You got to walk
Mhm.
like you have intention. But I think the biggest thing is like truly understanding, and this is so like textbook, but like understanding your self-worth and knowing what you deserve.
Mhm.
Because once you do, you'll stop critiquing yourself in the mirror. And like also something I do from my therapist is like every day you have to look in the mirror, like pretty much naked, and be like, I'm the hottest girl ever. I have the best body. I'm beautiful. Like, start telling yourself all these things, even if you don't believe it, because the more you say something, the more you'll start to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And it has truly changed the way I view myself. Even if I feel ugly one day, I'm like, you're so hot. You're so beautiful. You're the best person ever. And then I leave my apartment feeling that way. Like, it sounds so corny, but
No, it doesn't. I'm like, I'm over here being like, I should do that.
You should.
Like, I really should.
It like when I first started doing it, I cried a little bit because it's like very emotional. But like, it's because you don't believe it about yourself.
Mhm.
And now you do it and you're like, wait a second, I'm like really hot.
I love that. No, I'm going to steal that from you because even
Please.
last night, my parents were in town visiting, and my mom was like, do you believe you're going to find your person? And I almost started crying because I was like, wait, do I believe I'm going to find him? Like, do I believe I'm like worth that? And it's like such a uncomfortable thing to say out loud.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I need to start doing a little bit more self-work because.
Well, and if
Yeah.
you believe it, people can sense your energy. And
Mhm.
like we all can say, like, if two girls walk into a bar, one's a 10 but has no confidence, the other's like a 6 with confidence, people are going to gravitate towards the 6 with confidence because like they can
Yep.
like feel her energy, and it's just like that hot girl energy that you're
Hot
like,
girl
wait,
energy.
I want that. And guys feel too.
No, I love that so much. And like, even, just fake it till you make it.
Yes.
Do the work, do the affirmations. Before we leave, I'd love to hear, like, that was like a mic drop on its own.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no,
Shout out
but
to my therapist.
yeah, that was amazing. But do you have any like mantras that you live by when it comes to your dating life, or your biggest piece of advice, concerning love and relationships that the audience can take away?
I think like the biggest thing is know like what, like, write down your values, know
Mhm.
exactly what you want in someone, and if they don't fulfill it, like, remove them immediately. And I've been joking with my friends lately. I'm like, if they don't give you the world, you have to kick them out of your world immediately.
Ooh.
Like, and that's like my new
I love
mantra.
that.
Because
so if
you
they
deserve
don't give you the world, you have to kick them out of your world.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause,
boy, bye.
like, boy, bye. And like immediately, because you never want to be with someone who doesn't choose you, where you don't feel chosen. And why would you ever want to be with someone who is like unsure about you?
No.
Like, no.
Because that's going to seep into your confidence.
Exactly.
And make you unsure about yourself.
Exactly.
Okay. So can you plug yourself? I've
yeah.
loved having you today. Thank you.
Oh, it's been so fun.
For coming.
I'm
Yeah.
like shook that it's already been an hour.
I am too. This just flew by.
My social media, it's at Jordyn Woodruff, Jordyn with a Y, everywhere. And then Mean Girl Pod is, I think, at Mean Girl Pod everywhere as well.
And when does it drop?
Every Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mean
Go
Girl
listen to
Monday.
Mean Girl. It's really funny.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. This was a blast.
Thanks for coming.
Yay.
Yay. Thanks again to our sponsor, First Rounds on Me. If you're tired of endless small talk with an overwhelming number of pen pals, go download First Rounds on Me now and get yourself a real date.